Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra, and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We are on Sky FM in Sunyani, we are on Radio Max in Takrade, and Menuveve FM in Apawu. We are on A1 Radio in Bolgatanga. We are on X Spaces, we are on Facebook, we are on myjoyonline.com. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrol Soul, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Soul is always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duro Plus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. Where Dura Plus goes, water flows. This afternoon, massive shake-up in the Ghana Police Service amidst plot to remove the IGP. The 3 police officers in the center of the leak tape saga interdicted in order to return all police accoutrements in their possession while investigations continue.
For the 31 years that I've been in the service, I can tell you he's the worst IGP we've ever had. His relationship with IGP and contracts, 40,000 boots contract.
We'll get to hear from your lawyers who are already describing the interdiction as shocking and contemptuous.
That's quite surprising to us, actually. It was sent to a junior officer too. Some may even argue that it could even be contemptuous or contempt of parliament.
Also, former head of the Police Criminal Investigation Department describes as premature the decision by the service to interdict the officers.
It is coming from the IGP. In my opinion, I think it is premature. We should have allowed this investigation to continue, and then we see the outcome. And then, of course, if the officers had misconducted themselves somehow, then we would have called for service inquiry.
Also this afternoon, Electoral Commission to go ahead with the limited voters registration in its district offices despite strong opposition to the decision which the NDC and Kodeo says will disenfranchise many new voters.
I wish to add my voice to those who have called on the EC to reconsider its decision to restrict the registration exercise to its district offices only.
I can't imagine somebody coming all the way from the Drop Island to Donkokrum to have registration done.
We have details of that. We'll also go back to the Tema motorway where the Ghana Highway Authority has begun removing abandoned toll booths, which has become a death trap.
We recorded some accidents here which resulted in a loss of lives. And as an authority, it behoves on us to take necessary measures to address those safety concerns.
We have sports.
The Black Stars face a tricky challenge as they come up against Central African Republic today.
Go Black Stars go. And much later, residents of Dom alarmed by what they describe as the abnormally high electricity bills they are compelled to pay.
It's been about 12 months since we received paper bills, for postpaid meters at least, because I know of other houses around here that have prepaid and they don't have this problem. So since September 2022, no paper bills here.
We have that and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu, and do well to stay with us. This is your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. We dig in now, and the 3 officers facing Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating the leaked IGP tape have been interdicted by the Ghana Police Service. According to the police, the interdiction of COP Alex Mensah, Superintendent Emmanuel Eric Jibi, and Superintendent George Asare is to pave way for further investigations into their conduct. Before I bring you details of the statement from the Ghana Police Service, here are excerpts of their comments before Parliament's ad hoc committee about the administration of the police service.
He is not managing the police service well. And for me, for the 31 years that I've been in the service, I can tell you he's the worst IGP we've ever had in this country. Upon further inquiries, remember I'm a policeman. For investigations, I'm very smart. But that side, when we meet in camera, you know who did the recording, who was sent by who, and on what promise to who. You will get it when we meet in camera. His relationship with IGP and contracts, 40,000 boots contract.
Well, so that's some of the comments they made when they appeared before the committee. Well, my colleague Elton Brobe joins me in studio with details of the police statement that's coming in today. Elton, what does the statement say?
A very short one, Emefa. The police service has interdicted Commissioner of Police COP, Mr. George Alex Mensah, Superintendent Mr. Emmanuel Eric Jebi, and Superintendent George Asari in connection with the audio tape, which has become a subject matter of investigation by Parliament. The interdiction is to make way for disciplinary proceedings into their conduct in line with the police service regulations. And this is signed by Grace Ansar Kofi, the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of public relations. And so a very short one.
A statement on that. Well, but you are learning more about the interdiction of COP Alex Mensah, who is supposed to be the key witness in all this. What details can you share?
So this is directly, mailed to him. The content says, "I kindly be informed that you are interdicted with immediate effect following your involvement in a leaked tape being investigated by Parliament. You are also to hand over your weapon, uniform, and other police accoutrement and or property, including your authority badge, to Police Logistics Department. You are also to hand over the command vehicle to the police transport unit, and this is taking immediate effect." This is the signature is signed. This is Christian Teteyohuno, who is in charge of police administration, and this is directly mailed to George Alex Mensah.
And we recall that when he appeared before the committee, he mentioned that he's on terminal leave pending retirement this particular September.
16th of September.
Exactly. Well, we can hear from his lawyer, Kweku Owusu-Agyeman, who describes the interdiction as shocking.
We can confirm that he's been interdicted. He was served a letter of interdiction yesterday in the evening. So we just been served with a copy as his lawyers, and we are looking at it for him. Well, according to the letter of interdiction, it's in respect of the Parliamentary Select Committee's work on the leaked tape.
But before this interdiction, was any form of invitation extended to you by the Ghana Police Service?
Not at all. That's quite surprising to us, actually. It was sent to a junior officer to my client, so that's how we were served.
What do you make of it at this initial stage?
Well, it's early days yet. In a few hours, you hear from us on our approach to this interdiction. We are meeting our clients today, and strategize on the way forward. So we will also react to the interdiction.
So how does your client feel about this?
He's fine. He's not in the service. He's been on leave to his retirement for about 4 months now. So he's fine. He's so convinced that he can go through this phase of his life clearly.
That's lawyer for COP Alex Mensah. We can also hear from lawyer for Superintendent George Asari, Alfred Papadakwa. He believes the interdiction is not only surprising but contemptuous of the parliamentary proceedings.
We got wind of it last night. He has not been given any document suggesting that he's been interdicted. What I can say is that we have seen it on social media by the police, a publication by the police, indicating that he's been interdicted. But as we speak, he's not been given any document confirming saying. It's quite surprising. Parliament is conducting an investigation into the leaked tape. Usually when witnesses appear before Parliament, they are immune from any action, whatever that they say. But for the police administration to use the same Parliament as the reasons for their interdiction, it's a bit problematic. Some may even argue that it could even be contemptuous, contempt of Parliament.
Well, former Director General of the Police Criminal Investigations Department, COP retired Bright Odro, describes the action as premature.
Emefa has about 20 days for sumo in the service to serve. Already he's on leave pending retirement. As I said, I don't know whether it's the IGP or it is the police council that has instructed the IGP to interdict the officer. It is coming from the IGP. And I think, in my opinion, I think it is premature. We should have allowed this investigation to continue, and then we see the outcome. And then, of course, if the officers had misconducted themselves somehow, then we would have called for service inquiry, asked for service inquiry to be conducted into their conduct. Where I sit, I don't see any criminality in what they did. What one can allude to is that probably they misconducted themselves. But even then, it is probably after the investigation. Allegations have been made about the police administration, in particular about the IGP.
Well, so that's COP Brightwood there. But what is really the IGP, George Akufu Dampare, up to today amidst the report of interdiction of these 3 police officers and that statement from the Ghana Police Service? We are told the Ghana Police Service is currently actively engaging with primary school pupils in Accra to educate them about policing. Samuel Mbura is with the team. He joins us on the line with details. Let's talk about this engagement.
Yeah, Emefa, so the Ghana Police Service, as part of measures to demystify policing, is engaging the basic school pupils here in Accra to somehow educate them on policing and also let them know that the Ghana Police Service is their friend, so that they will be able to divulge information to them as and when the need arises. You know, they say mostly criminals in society do not pay attention to children as people who can gather information and relay to security agencies. So they want to start the policing or security consciousness of children at this early age under the initiative, Catch Them Young in Policing policy.
And the IGP, George Akufu Dampare, is there himself?
Exactly. Just a minute ago, I tried engaging him, but he told me that he wouldn't comment on any issue about the Ghana police.
Okay, that's Samuel Mbura there joining us on the line with what the IGP has been up to today, actively engaging with primary school pupils. Well, Elton, you've also been working the lines to reach the ad hoc committee investigating this particular leak tape. What are you picking up?
So what we are picking up is that they are learning of this in the media. Officially, they've not been told about the interdiction carried out by the police administration. They have a meeting this afternoon to decide on the modalities for the in-camera hearing and whether or not they want to invite the IGP. But according to some members of the committee, it is a high possibility that they will invite the IGP, and it will be up to the IGP to decide whether he want to share his testimony in camera or in public. But as it relates to the interdiction, they are unaware, and this afternoon meeting, they will discuss it as to how to go. As far as the committee is concerned, they are going ahead with the in-camera hearing regarding the 3 officers who have been interdicted.
Okay, well, we'll find out much later if it's indeed this particular action is contemptuous of the ad hoc committee, amongst others. But let's hit the Accra-Tema motorway now, and the Ghana Highway Authority is conducting an assessment of work expected to be done on the abandoned Tema motorway toll booths. At least 1 person has been killed, leaving several other passengers with severe injuries sustained from crashes recorded at the abandoned toll booths. Joy News in the last couple of weeks has been reporting on the deadly nature of the booths, which have become major spots for accidents on the stretch. In an interview with my colleague Carlos Kaloni, Director Road Safety and Environment at the Ghana Highway Authority, Joseph Amejake, said demolition of the booths will begin tomorrow to make way for their rehabilitation.
We recorded some accidents here which resulted in a loss of lives. And as an authority, it behoves on us to take necessary measures to address those safety concerns. So we are here, we did some preliminary assessment of the works that are needed to address the problem. Today we are here to carry out a final assessment for work to commence tomorrow. So principally that's why we are here today. So as you can see, we want now to limit traffic, vehicular traffic, to the original motorway section of the toll booth section. So we are going to block the extension that we have carried out. We're blocking it with concrete barriers. And then we are going to clear them off. So that when you are coming from the Accra end of the motorway, you don't need to divert your course. You just come straight using the concrete pavement section. And then you can
My colleague Carlos Kaloni is live on the ground, joins us on the line. I'm sure assessment of the work has begun.
Yes, Emefa, I can say that the assessment has come to an end a while ago, as the team has already departed from the scene. And I can say that here at the Accra Toll Plaza, the main road, which is the original 2-lane expressway, has been cordoned off with some tapes and some warning signs. And the traffic flow has also been diverted onto the outer lane, which means that when you're coming from Accra to Tema, you have to slip onto the extreme right and then switch back onto the motorway. We did not see same at the Tema end of the motorway. And as we heard, according to the Director of Safety and Environment at the Ghana Highways Authority, construction works will begin in earnest tomorrow. And so we're going to be looking forward to that tomorrow, Emefa.
And what's been the reaction of residents? I'm sure you've been interacting with some of them.
Indeed, I have been interacting with some drivers, and they have expressed a lot of joy at the news. They say they cannot wait to see that happen so that the safety of drivers could be assured on the Accra-Tema motorway. But they've been expressing concerns actually over the potholes on the motorway.
Okay. That's my colleague Carlos Kaloni there reporting from the Accra-Tema motorway. Now, Joy News understands the Electoral Commission will go ahead with its planned limited voters registration exercise in its district offices across the country, despite protests from the opposition NDC, who have demanded that the process is decentralized to the electoral area level. Well, you can listen to former President John Dramani Mahama retweeting the demand in the public address ahead of the registration, which is starting on Tuesday.
I wish to add my voice to those who have called on the EC to reconsider its decision to restrict the registration exercise to its district offices only. Acquiring a voter ID card affirms one's right to vote, and access to a voter ID card should be easy and not limited by location. Every Ghanaian deserves the chance to exercise this democratic right. I strongly urge the Electoral Commission to facilitate the registration exercise in all its electoral areas to allow for easy access.
Well, the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, has also waded into the discussion, warning a number of first-time voters could be disenfranchised if the registration process is not brought closer to the people. Albert Ahin is the national coordinator of CODEO.
To them there. You might say that there will not be many people, but remember we have had 2 years that we haven't registered people who have just turned 18. So the number might go up a little. So I think the EC has to reconsider its decision. Of course, unless maybe the government is saying they would not have funds to give them so they could meet these demands. That some people might not turn up for the registration at all, because I can't imagine somebody coming all the way from the Drop Island to Donkokrum to have registration done. And they will not do it.
That's the national coordinator of CODEO, Albert Ahin. But what's the EC's position on this? My colleague Kwekwa Sante of our political desk joins me in studio on what he's been learning from the offices of the Electoral Commission. You've been working your sources. What are they saying?
Yes, Emefa, the Commission says this is not about finances, and that they believe that that is the best thing they can do now. And so currently they are not considering at all the calls to decentralize the process to the electoral area. They believe that's the ship that has sailed, and that if the political parties and other activists are very much interested, then they must also do their bit to drive these people out from these communities to their district offices to register. Thank
you very much, Kwekwa Sante. Now, residents of Dom Pillar 2 in the East Municipality of the Greater Accra region are concerned about what they perceive as exorbitant bills delivered to them by the ECG's electronic billing system. They are thus urging the power company to address these challenges. There's more in this report.
Residents of Domipila 2 in the Greater Accra region are becoming increasingly alarmed by what they describe as the abnormally high electricity bills they are compelled to pay due to the implementation of electronic payment systems by the Electricity Company of Ghana. They have been on the ECG's electronic billing app since September 2022, but argue the app does not accurately depict their actual consumption, resulting in overbilling.
It's been about 12 months since we received paper bills for postpaid meters, at least, because I know of other houses around here that have prepaid and they don't have this problem. So since September 2022, no paper bills here. We contacted ECG and we were told that we can just do estimates around what we've been paying in the past and then go ahead and pay until this is resolved. But we know that there have been tariff increases. So we are thinking to ourselves, what if you are underpaying? And revenue is still being collected. You are here, they come and they want to collect money. If not, they are disconnecting you. So we're concerned about the fact that probably we are underpaying or something. We just need visibility into what we actually need to pay. Just give us our bills. But it never came.
The residents say they are unable to view previous usage, therefore making it impossible to budget.
If you are on a YAM phone, this is how you go about it. If you are on Android, this is how you go about it. If you want to see your charges, maybe discount, whatever that is happening, people have to get access to it because it's not everyone who even have a phone. So this app that is coming up for the changes about electricity, they have to educate people for them to understand.
Let's get some answers from the External Relations Officer of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Leila Abubakar. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Midday News. Let me find out, is there a particular problem with the billing system for the East municipality?
Hi, thank you very much. I'm really happy about what the person you interviewed last said about education. I think that's one of our critical low points, that since all these developments have begun, we haven't engaged with our most important stakeholders, who are the customers at the end of the day. I think that we all appreciate the issues surrounding energy in Ghana and the fact that the energy debt is mounting up on a daily basis. It lies heavily on ECG's shoulders to be able to alleviate the energy sector debt. And so we are firing up all our engines in order to increase our revenues. Now, with prepaid metering, we do not have any or very few issues with these meters because they pay in advance. And when they are not able to make any payment, they are taken off. Or when the credit finishes, they are taken off. Now, it's not so equitable when it comes to the postpaid metering system. In fact, they are given a very long rope when it comes to payment of bill because customers rely on us sending them a bill before they make payment. And so with all these things that are happening now, I appreciate that customers have realized that they are being overbilled. It means customers do have a sense of how much they pay averagely on a month.
Well, but
now,
they have
to deal with
concerns.
the issues that have arisen, it is because ECG is going through a massive transformation in our digitalization process. And with that, we expected that there would be a few hiccups. We did not expect that our mass estimated bills will cause so much problems. Now, with estimation, in the definition of estimation itself, it means that it is not an accurate bill. The only thing is that it shouldn't be off by the actual mark by so much.
Okay.
What people are complaining about is that it is too much.
Yes, they say they have been overbilled.
This, we are trying to convince our customers that we are working on this. What we have to do now is gather more data because we are using technology to estimate the bills for our customers.
Leila, are you able to tell these residents when exactly these concerns they have will be resolved?
Yes, so that's what I'm coming to. So if you have been quite current with ECG News, we have started something we call the spot utility billing system, where we have a machine our meter readers are taking around to gather data on the field for us. Now, that is going to form the base for our billing. So until then, we are going to be estimating bills for our customers until we get an actual reading of their bill, and we will send them the bills. In fact, many of these concerns have been resolved in our offices. It is just a few customers who are still experiencing this. And so we hope that in the next couple of weeks, this should be resolved. If these customers are still encountering these, we encourage them to come into our offices.
Well, that's Leila Abubakar, External Relations Officer for the Electricity Company of Ghana, taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News, sponsored by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience, also brought to you by Duraplast Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDPE pipes and water tank. Where Duraplast goes, water flows. We've been talking about the massive shakeup in the Ghana Police Service amidst plot to remove the IGP. The 3 police officers in the center of the leak tape saga have been interdicted and ordered to return all police accoutrements in their possession while investigations continue. We've been hearing from their lawyers who've been describing the interdiction as shocking and contemptuous. We'll return from the break with sports, and then we have more here on the Midday News. Please do stay.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports. And should I play that music for you? Go, go, go.
Yeah,
Black
but why
Stars, go,
you?
go, go.
Why
Oh,
you
I
not?
mean all the colors.
But
We
we need the white one. We are playing our hope.
Let's
so.
win first. Don't worry. Let's go.
So you are not hopeful.
I'm very hopeful. Let's go.
Emefa.
What's in sports?
Okay, anyway, this afternoon's clashes are absolutely crucial for the Black Stars in their quest to qualify for next year's AFCON in Ivory Coast. They face the Central African Republic, needing just a point to book their place at the continental event. The Black Stars are 2 points ahead of their opponent, but a defeat will see the Central Africans qualify ahead of Ghana. Chris Hilton is the head coach of the Black Stars and had this to say about the task ahead.
There are no easy games in this group, home or away, and the level of African football has improved, I think, significantly over the years, which means that there aren't any easy games. So we will have to treat good opposition with the respect that they deserve. But I go back to what I said. We are playing at home here in Kumasi in front of our own supporters. And we hope that they can drive us on to the victory that we want.
Chris Hilton there. The match is at 4 p.m. and we have live commentary for you.
Of course, we can't wait for that. Now, do you have a driver's license? Or okay,
no.
Right, don't worry. Now, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority says all drivers with licenses issued before September 2017 are required to visit any DVLA office for a new smart driver's license card. According to the authority, all old cards should be rendered invalid after 31st March 2024. Director, Driver Training, Testing and Licensing at DVLA, Kafui Samevo, has been explaining more on the rationale for phasing out the old licenses to my colleague Mami Sinyamiche Thompson.
Ordinarily, if we were using the same license across the country, in the 6th year, you still have submitted it for replacement. And those that were issued, they are in their 6th year. So it's a legal requirement. However, at the introduction stage, people who had the old card had licenses that were valid. So we allowed that they to be used alongside. Now, from the day the new one was issued or introduced, the old one was not printed again. Now, from the 16th of this month, all the old ones would have expired.
Well, you ought to start making your way to the DVLA for that new card. Now, several shops have been removed and artisans evacuated to make way for the Swami interchange project in Kumasi. We've been reporting on that. Now, the affected artisans and traders want the government to keep to its promise in fast-tracking the project. Nana Boachi Dankwa Yadom has more in this report.
After several months of setbacks, traders supplying all road networks leading to the Swami runabout have been evacuated. The exercise is to pave way for the construction of the long-awaited Swami interchange project. Some affected artisans say their compliance with the eviction directive must be reciprocated by the government's fulfillment of completing the project on schedule.
I can't see any interchange here. Did the government evict us because we threw water on a Seche Mensa Bonsu? Well, if we do not see the commencement of the project anytime soon, we will come back to make sales. They have not done anything. Everything they say is a lie. We are giving them up to a month. We must see them working. The interchange would help us, but I don't trust them. They can't complete it by the scheduled time. They will abandon it for the next government.
Please do it for us, because people have lost their jobs due to the eviction. It would be a disgrace if you don't complete the project.
We want progress, so we support this project. We have never opposed it, but we are pleading with the government to fast-track its construction.
Meanwhile, the Swami Municipal Assembly has started a public sensitization campaign on a planned road diversion ahead of the project construction takeoff. For Joy News, Nana Bwachidankwayatom, Kumasi.
And that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa. Apawu Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil is up next. Have a blessed day.